NMP, St. George's to St. Andrews, St. Patrick's to St. David. Shanty Mel to Mount Craven, Lamont to St. Mark.
And good night to each and every one of you joining us tonight. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 14 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. We say a special good night to our listeners out there in beautiful Carriacou. Those of you who are listening out there as well in Petit Martinique, our brothers and sisters on the jewel that is pretty Martinique. Yeah, certain people they stop call all your name first when they say anything. And Petit Martinicans, they stop say Petit Martinique, Carriacou and Grenada, they stop call your all name first, innit? Be a guidance, and this you can never stop. During the campaign, Petit Martinique, Grenada and Carriacou, or Petit Martinique, Carriacou and Grenada. After the campaign, Grenada. We're on the road. Yeah, all of a sudden you all are not important. They'll come back starting with Petit Martinique, Carriacou and Grenada just now, you know. Because I'm feeling something, election coming. We're on the road, yeah. You bet your bottom dollar. I say a special good night to all the listeners joining us on the YouTube, all of you joining us on the Facebook tonight. Hope that you all have been having a fabulous day today. It's been a hot one here in Grenada. Yet, why today the hot boy? Oh God. Today the real hot. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Say a special good night to our listeners regionally. Those of you listening out there in St. Vincent, wifey out there on Union Island. We're on the road. All of you listening on mainland St. Vincent. Say a special good night to each and every one of you locked in nightly to Talking Points. We also say a special good night to the listeners down there in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Not just my family and my friends, but a lot of other listeners who tune in. You would be surprised that I would actually go down to Trinidad, be walking through an area, and somebody will see me and shout out Talking Points. And don't believe it's just there. I was in St. Lucia, the same thing happened. I was in an area, I was in Soufrière, and this guy come up to me, hey, Talking Points, where do we here? Walking through Kingston in St. Vincent, and the same thing happened as well. A gentleman, he said, wait, you're not Sheldon? You're not Talking Points? I listen to you every night, man. So don't think it's just a Grenada program. We're regional. And we say a special good night to each and every one of the listeners wherever you are. We hope that you've been having a wonderful one. The rice gone up. Flour gone up. Gas gone up. We're on the road. NMP on the road. We're on the road. NMP guide us. We're on the road. Go tell our enemies. Yeah, I don't know how my thing just closed off here totally. I'm just, yeah. NMP guide. Guide us, be our guidance, make intercession for us. And then be guide us, be our guidance, and this you can never stop us. We're on the road, we're on the road, and then be on the road, we're on the road, and then be guide us. Yes, indeed, folks, here we had some sort of things taking place today. We're going to get into that in a while. No, we're not opening the phone lines yet. I'll tell you all when we're opening the phone lines, yeah? Because I might open the phone lines, you might call and say something, and then after we say what we had to say and all kind of thing, you want to call again, which would be unfair to those that didn't call yet. So we're not opening the phone lines yet. Let me repeat. We're not opening the phone lines yet. All right?
But just to put a boy in jail. But then be higher than high. We don't mix.
I'm also just making sure I get to my number that I need to see before I start the discussions for tonight.
NFP is standing on the rock. Hey, we're on the road. We're on the rock. NFP on the road. We're on the rock. NFP guide us. We're on the road. Go tell our enemies. NFP on the road. NFP guide us. We on the road, yeah. Tell them. If we fight, tell them be careful, cause the house is in light. The house is in order. So tell your neighbor, brother, sister, and father, the house is right up. Right up. Right up. We're on the road. We're on the rock. NMP on the road. We're on the rock. NMP guide us. We're on the road. Go tell our enemies. NMP on the road. NMP guide us. We on the road, yeah.
Host, 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 host. People get ready, cause the greenhouse is.
I don't know what's happening. One of my software is acting up tonight. I'm just trying to get that under control, folks. So just give me one moment.
People get ready, cause the greenhouse is open. Everyone welcome, just walk right in. In a critical state, don't wait until it's too late. Hopelessly we have roamed, now this house is our home. Man, how could you sleep at night when poverty and hunger we got to fight? You gave nothing but disrespect and neglect. Through representation you forget. Represent
Right, I think I've gotten that sorted out.
and neglecting the poor make charity.
That's wrong.
But there comes a day when our finger got something to
What will
say.
you do then?
People get ready.
I'm ready.
The greenhouse is open.
So once again, all listeners via We Noise TV, We Noise Radio, we say a good night to you. All of you listening via all of the various mediums, we say a special good night to you as we get ready to get into tonight's program, yeah? Yeah, as we get ready to get into tonight's program and think, yeah, we had to say what we had to say, you know, it's a Friday night.
Will you fool the people with
So
purpose?
you know many folks are out tonight, so we'll just get started.
Now we
Who come?
you're still complaining and playing the blame game. No blind and empty promises.
Mm-hmm.
For you in this crucial day, only the house can deliver that much needed
That's what we
shelter.
say.
People get ready.
What you mean?
The greenhouse is open.
Ready now.
You don't need no passage. Just walk right in.
Are you ready now?
People get ready. But the greenhouse
I
is
said I'm
open.
ready now.
Everyone welcome. Just walk right in. People get ready. But the greenhouse is open. You don't need no passage. Just walk right in. People get ready. But the greenhouse is open.
Green now.
Everyone is welcome. Just walk right in.
What? Yeah. Come in greener than green, you know. Just tell me where you've been, you know. Right now, me say me greener than green, you know. Serious business with me. Greener than green, you know. Serious business with me. Want you?
People get ready. The greenhouse is open. You don't need no passage. Just walk right in. People get ready. But the greenhouse is open. Everyone welcome.
Yes, indeed, folks. So as we get into it tonight, yeah, just to let you all know, yeah, I saw something out today. And in fact, you know what? Let me get to that afterwards, you know. What I'm looking for now is let me deal with this first. The barbecue that is on tomorrow. Yeah, let me just pull it up here. Yeah, come on, save nothing. How you operating? So I find you moving in that kind of way with me there today. Yeah, everything just giving problems. Tonight, you put everything together and everything want to go where you want to go and do where you want to do and all kind of things, right? But I need to remind you all of this particular one. This is taking place tomorrow. That's the New National Party, Carriacou and Petit Martinique branch. They present their maroon breakfast and brunch. That is, the brunch. Yeah, because it can't be breakfast and brunch. Yes, brunch. Right? That come enjoy a delicious breakfast. And they've got on the menu saltfish, fried chicken, fried fish, eggs, fry, and roast baked fried cuckoo. That's at the NNP party office, taking place tomorrow morning from 7 a.m. Right? So those of you in Carriacou for Maroon Weekend, you know you can head on down to the NNP main office and grab your breakfast. If you're heading down into Hillsborough, for whatever reason, you can head on down to the NNP party office there and get your breakfast tomorrow morning. All right? Yeah, so you could get your saltfish, fried chicken, fried fish, eggs, fry, and roast baked fried cuckoo. And they might have one or two other things, surprise and thing as well. You understand? Nice. So we're heading on out there to that activity tomorrow. Right? And also tomorrow, and let me pull that one up, tomorrow as well, we've got that activity taking place at the Grenville car park. That is and you see it disappear on me. Yeah, at the Grenville car park, that is the New National Party St. Andrew Southwest constituency branch. They are having their breakfast sale tomorrow. I think they're starting actually at 6:30 a.m. or somewhere around there. Yeah, for some reason, somebody send back the thing to me, but send it on the 421. If you're sending anything for promotion, folks, send it on the 421-7279 number. I know a lot of you have my other number. It gets lost there. There are literally hundreds of messages coming in on that number on by the hour. Literally hundreds of messages coming in. So your messages sometimes get lost there. Send it on 421-7279. So, yes, tomorrow morning, they have the St. Andrew Southwest constituency branch. They are having that breakfast out at the Grenville bus terminal. So you could go on out and support them. Yeah, and they said the breakfast nice as Manda. So go and check it out. Nice. Monday, morning, evening, night time. I'm shouting out for all of them one time, man. Laddie, good night. Indeed, folks. So we're heading out there tomorrow. Eh? Yeah, we headed out there and remembering to do one thing to it. Remembering to do this.
Long live the national party. You don't know right about the whole of the country land now. And everybody.
Let me say good night to the listeners out there in St. John. I know the Loretto meeting is taking place tonight. Is it? Yeah. We've got the meeting out there. I believe it's in Loretto. Tonight is Loretto. Last night was Loretto. I think tonight is Loretto. Yeah. Let me say a special good night to all of you. Yeah. The honorable man himself, Mr. Alvin DeBrio. Good night to you and your entire team, sir. I know our beloved political leader is up there as well tonight. And as I mentioned, Brother Alvin DeBrio, remember I spoke about Stony Gut earlier this week. Because these individuals do like if all of a sudden they stop speak about Stony Gut, which would have provided housing for the people of St. John. Additional housing. Yeah, it would have provided the first ever housing scheme in St. John. They didn't know how to do it. They don't know how to do these kind of things. Housing scheme and thing, they know about that. They know how to scheme, but they know about doing housing. So they never did the housing scheme that was supposed to take place up there in Stony Gut. And then they started making all kind of excuses about the landing day and all kind of nonsense. And so if Mr. Alvin Martin DeBrio, I like to give people the middle name, Alvin Martin DeBrio, because I don't have no middle name. Alvin Martin DeBrio, if at least he was the MP for St. John in a new National Party government, you, the people of St. John, definitely at this point would have had your first housing development. And not only that, by now you would have done be receiving your keys and people would have been living in that housing development. Yeah? So you have an MP who should be able to answer to you, because they came in telling you, forget NP and these things, man. We building 500 houses a year. That's what they came in saying. And we see what they're doing to houses now. They're mashing down housing and all kind of thing. But it's not the first time they're doing them kind of thing. They are custom. It's not the first time they're doing them kind of thing. They are custom doing them kind of thing. But we'll talk about that a little later when a little more people come on board and that kind of thing. But there are one or two other things that sort of caught my attention today. And one of them was this. On a weekly basis now, I recognize that the National Democratic Congress, now why are you cutting off? The National Democratic Congress, they put out some stuff on a weekly basis now that they claim are achievements. And if you really dig into it and you dip into it, you realize that these are not any achievements anyway. So I saw them this morning while going through one of their weekly publications. No, not you. Not you either. Where's this thing gone to now? Yeah, not you. Yeah, one of their publications, I saw this morning. Yeah? So they're saying these are the achievements of the NDC when it comes to youth. These are supposed to be the achievements of NDC. Because remember, they're supposed to be having big youth rally. Well, we're supposed to be having big youth rally taking place on Sunday. But they realize the youth can't be bothered and not bothering with them. So all of a sudden, thing cancel. They having the whatever, but they cancel the youth rally because young people ain't bothering with them. They ain't going in the thing. So they come. This is supposed to be, now notice, these are supposed to be the achievements of the National Democratic Congress when it comes to youth development. Recognizing youth excellence. The Grenada National Youth Awards 2026 shines a deserved spotlight on the achievements and contributions of young people across the country. It brings recognition to the kind of effort, leadership, and positive impact that should be seen, affirmed, and celebrated at a time when negative stories often take up the most space. This initiative helps bring needed attention to the many young people who are making a real difference. Well, let me say something now. If that is the achievement of the National Democratic Congress Youth Ministry, fire the minister. Fire them. Because back when I was small, they used to say you're fudging, you're copying, yeah? You're copying somebody else's work and claiming it as your own. Because the Grenada National Youth Awards, let me remind folks, because when they're talking their stupidness, they must remember that there are some of us who are still here, who are still active, and whose memories have not gone down. So we still remember. I joined the Department of Youth roughly in about the year 2005. Yeah, I joined the Department of Youth. At the point in time, and I always like to mention this to certain people, I had two people offer me a position at the same time. And David Antoine offered me the position to come into the Ministry of Health as a public relations officer in there. And then Senator Emlyn Pierre offered me a position, like within 2 days of each other, offered me the position to come into the Ministry of Youth. And I chose to go into the Ministry of Youth as a public relations officer back in the year 2005. The new National Party administration on a yearly basis celebrated Youth Week. It used to be Youth Week, or there was a global action week for youth, right? And we used to have Youth Week. Part of Youth Week was the National Youth Awards. After a while, because we realized the interest and understanding the importance of getting more and more young people involved in what we were doing, and all the other little projects we had, Commonwealth Youth Program, we had Global Youth Service Weekend. We had the Ambassadors Program. We had the Grenada Youth Enterprise Initiative. We had so many other programs going on in schools, in communities, all over. We had different programs going on at that point in time, that it was decided, instead of just Global Youth Service Weekend and instead of Youth Week, that we would expand into Youth Month. So there was a month of activities that took place for young people in Grenada. I was there. I know. Nobody can tell me. I could tell them. Yeah? So there was a month of activities, and within that month of activities, it had what? The Grenada National Youth Awards. Even after going out of office in 2008, the then Department of Youth continued having National Youth Awards for a couple of years. They didn't have it for the full period of time, but they had it. When we came back in, it was something that we had brought back in for a while again. So for them to claim now that National Youth Awards is like some kind of new thing, that they suddenly realize that young people need to be recognized. We were recognizing youth groups. That is why you had youth groups. Tell me right now, any of you that are listening, which youth group it have in your area? How many youth groups are there? I could have gone to Carriacou and go to Mount Royal, and there was a youth group there, and Top Hill, and there were groups there. You go down in Brunswick, and the groups all over the place. There were youth groups. There were youth activities taking place through the schools that encourage young people to get involved in environmental projects and social welfare projects and so on. Other types of community projects and different things like that. Helping the elderly, all sort of thing. But you encourage young people to become involved in all sort of thing. But these people sat down on their posterior. I always remember my pastors are listening. Their posterior. This government here. Sit down on their posterior for the last 4 years and now realize that young people are important. Because you see, they believe that they were the only quote-unquote youth that were important. Because the Prime Minister nearly 50 years old. Always talking about youth there. He's a middle-aged man. No youth. Right? So you have sat there for close to 4 years doing absolutely nothing but destroying the body of work that was put in place there by previous ministers of youth. Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters, Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox, myself, you had Honorable Roland Bowler, and of course the Honorable Emlyn Pierre. So you are just there destroying the body of work. In fact, listen, when Grenada went out onto youth things around the world, we were the rock stars, you know. And I say around the world. When you went to another Caribbean island and they heard about some of the things, you send your youth coordinator, you send one of those other young folks. Because me, I was never a person that liked to travel anyway. So one of them go to one of these things and they're rock stars when they hear what Grenada is doing and they see what Grenada is doing. To the point of where many of them came here to Grenada to participate in what we're doing and learn how we're doing what we're doing. So when you see the NDC talking about empower and trying to do like it is one of their achievements, sit your young people down and tell them they lie. Because empower was conceptualized and created right here in Grenada. Ask Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters. Go and ask Senator Nolan Cox. Ask Honorable Emlyn P. and the cabinet at the time. Empower was created here in Grenada to the point of you now have an Empower TT. So you have an Empower program taking place in Trinidad that they patterned on what was taking place here in Grenada. So when they come with Empower 5.0, show us which new initiative or which new program you brought for young people. You understand why you can't hold no youth rally on Sunday? The reason you all can't hold no youth rally is because you all only just interested in the young people. And you all thought that they're stupid. You all thought that you all could have just dazzled them and fooled them. But the young people proving to you all that they ain't stupid. They know what is a good thing when they see it, and they know all you ain't a good thing. So you all have to go and grab some people who bordering on middle age and try to put them and say, oh, this is the youth at the NDC and that sort of thing. Go ahead, that's all your business. But don't try to steal. Imagine the only two things. There's the only two things they could put up, you know. National Youth Awards, which existed under the... I could pull my pictures and show all you, you know. I can't do it exactly right now. I could do it Monday bright and early. I could show all you a pregnant Emlyn Pierre sharing out Youth Awards. And there are literally thousands of young people, or middle-aged now, on this island who know that I'm speaking the truth. I ain't had a lie on this. And have videos and photos to back up everything I say. Let them pull their videos. Let them pull their photos and back up what they have to counteract what I'm saying. None of them can do it. None. But them is the party of youth. Where is the party of youth? 1995, NNP appointed youth senators. 2003, NNP appointed youth senators. 2008, NNP appointed youth senators. 2013, youth senators. 2018, youth senators. 2022, youth senators again. The new National Party has always ensured that youth have a seat at the table. Come and calling yourself Party of Youth Empower. You actually publish a document and trying to put Empower as though that is a program that you put in place. That's like I build a house, and after I design my house and I go and I fight and I build my house, you come afterwards and you end up taking over the house and you come and telling me, you see a nice house I build? You build what? You buy. But you ain't build it. That's my design. That's my blood, sweat and tears in it. And you want to come and claim it like yours? But it just shows how desperate you all are. That you have to go down to that level to try and give the impression that you all are the ones that do empower and like you're national youth. So what employment opportunities have you all created for young people? What training opportunities have you all created for young people? You're all talking about scholarships. Oh, we give how much scholarships and so, folks, let me explain something to you all. There's no increase in the number of scholarships, you know. Those scholarships are the normal scholarships that you have with SGU and so on that the government of Grenada does on a yearly basis. And when you hear them speaking about money and saying, well, they pay how much money and we have how much million we put into it, don't get tricked. Go and check the budget document and see if they put a cent into it. There is an arrangement between the government of Grenada and the St. George University in relation to the students that are going there, be they medical students or otherwise. There's an arrangement where a certain arrangement financially takes place for Grenadian students attending there. And what this government has done is say, okay, it's going to cost X amount for student A to study there for the next 5 years. So we're going to take that and add it and say that is how much government spending. The scholarship is worth that amount. But being very careful with the words. So the scholarship is worth that amount. So you leave thinking that, hey, the government is going to be spending 63,000 US on that person to get an education. No, they're not. In fact, I've known students that had to go and do all kind of side jobs and so to try and make money to pay SGU because the government of Grenada, this NDC government, refused to pay their portion of what they have to pay to help these young people. I've had young people coming to me before if I can source somebody to help them because they have to find a 4,000 EC before they can go back to school at SGU because the government, this NDC government, refused to pay. Because some of them was left over from during the NNP time and they're looking out for who is, as far as they're concerned, their people. So they didn't bother with them. Yeah? They didn't bother with those people. Just remember, Election day will come, you know. Election day will come. Another interesting one that a good friend of mine sent to me today was this particular one, yeah? We are hiring traffic wardens in Carriacou. So Carriacou, I hope all you hear, they are hiring traffic wardens in Carriacou. Join the Grenada Transport Commission and play your part in promoting safe, efficient and orderly transport for our community. A minimum of 4 CXCs including English. An age range between 18 to 45 years. You must be physically fit. And they have a deadline for your application as of the 5th of May 2026. So they're looking for traffic wardens. So the traffic wardens are now, they're no longer working along with the police and so on. They're working right now. Traffic wardens working under the Grenada Transport Commission. Which is the same situation that the workers, yes, those wardens who are working on the bus terminals have found themselves in now. Now, they at this stage don't know what's going on with them. You see them doing their work on the bus terminal there, but a lot of them probably have a little bit of stress in the back of their head because they do not know what is going on with them. They know that within the next few weeks, that as far as they've been informed, their services will no longer be required. In other words, they're supposed to be going home. They have been asked to reapply for their jobs. So remember, these are people who have to go and pay courts for the local bed that they put there and the TV and the chair set. They have to go and pay courts. They have to pay the credit union for the local loans that they have inside there. They may have a little something with the bank too. For the piece of land or the little extension they put on the house, they might have been able to get that because they had what was considered solid employment for a number of years that this government has now decided to discontinue. So they know that they're going home soon. And they have not been told when they're going to be coming back, if they're coming back, or if it's a new set of people, because it looks like what they're trying to do is get rid of these people and bring in a next set of people to do the same job that they've been doing. Now, these people currently were working before under the Port Authority. The bus terminals were under the Port Authority. They are now going under the Grenada Transport Commission. And because of that, the employment of these individuals, they're using that now as the opportunity to cut the employment of these individuals. I hope Labor Day, one of you all talk about it on their behalf. I hope Labor Day, one of you all talk about it on their behalf. So now they were told they have to reapply. So they have now reapplied for their job. The time when they tell them their employment will no longer be required, that is coming to an end. And they have not heard back from the Transport Commission that, hey, you're going to continue as of the 1st of May, the 1st of June, you're going to continue in the position because we have accepted that your application and so on. Because the intention, as far as I'm hearing, is to get rid of them. Not all, they go hold one or two. Just to put a face on it and say, well, we keep some of them. But the intention is to get rid of them. That is what we hear. Yeah? But what was also interesting with the issue of the traffic wardens was I seem to remember that the present Attorney General had a problem with traffic wardens. She said that they were illegal. So I'm surprised to know now that you all are looking to once again hire traffic wardens, because I thought it was a case. Let me see if I could find that case, boy. Yeah, yeah. Let me see if we could find that there. Right. Yeah, I thought it was a situation that the present minister had a problem with traffic wardens, and when she lost the case, actually, she does lose them case. When she lost the case, she went back to court again. She went back to court to try and have the ruling overturned. Yeah? Because she challenged the legitimacy of the traffic wardens. and that was dismissed. The present day, the same Claudette day, she was the one that dealt with that. Am I wrong? Let me see if I can find that here. Yeah, she lost the case, man. Let's see if we can pull up that one day and let you hear what was going on there. You understand? Yeah, let me see if we can pull up that day.
2 weeks ago, Madam Justice Agnes Acti ruled that although the Grenada Transport Board was not a statutory body, traffic wardens contracted by it were lawfully hired and could perform the functions and duties assigned to them. Further, although they perform certain limited functions traditionally performed by police officers, traffic wardens are not police officers. Ms. Joseph says her main contentions are that 1. In amending the Road Traffic Act to establish the Grenada Transport Board, which was given the power to, among other things, appoint traffic wardens on contract, Parliament contravened Section 84 and 89 of the Constitution. Secondly, traffic wardens...
Just remember, she's saying that traffic contravene different aspects of the Constitution also. The same wicked woman is the minister with responsibility for legal affairs and attorney general right now, and they're putting out notice to hire people under the same commission. And notice I'm speaking about two different sets of people here. They are the people that on the bus terminal. Those folks were under Port Authority. They're now coming under the Transportation Commission and so on. But this wasn't specific to those traffic wardens that we meet at the different corners and so on, not those on the terminal. So here is what she contended before.
Formed by police officers, traffic wardens are not police officers. Ms. Joseph says her main contentions are that 1. In amending the Road Traffic Act to establish the Grenada Transport Board, which was given the power to, among other things, appoint traffic wardens on contract, Parliament contravened Section 84 and 89 of the Constitution. Secondly, traffic wardens perform certain police functions and are not lawfully employed by the Transport Board. And thirdly, that the police service is part of the public service established by the Constitution. Therefore, traffic wardens are to be treated as police officers.
The court said that as far as it was concerned, I did not raise that sufficiently in my case. We have already filed our appeal, and I will let you know that the matter came up before the magistrate's court. Now, the issue of the ticket came up before the magistrate's court this morning, and the learned magistrate adjourned the matter pending the outcome of the appeal.
And you lose.
Said they believe that the judge has erred in her judgment.
The errors that we think the judge made is that the judge erred when she held that traffic wardens were not carrying out the functions of police officers, right? The Police Act is clear. The Road Traffic Act is clear as to what functions traffic wardens are.
Just remember, the face you're seeing there is the Attorney General of Grenada at the point in time that they're hiring a net set of people to do the same thing that she's claiming is illegal there. That is the face of a hypocrite. People in the tongue of St. George, this is what the face of a hypocrite looks like. You could print a t-shirt with that face and the word hypocrite under it. Because she's the Attorney General hiring people now to do the same thing when she was in opposition, she's saying was illegal.
Carry out.
Attorney General Dia Forrester maintains the accuracy of the judgment handed down.
Of course, just prior to this briefing, we were served with a notice of appeal, which indicates that the decision of the trial judge is being challenged by the claimant. Of course, it is our position that the trial judge was correct in all of the findings made, so we will be objecting to the appeal. Now, the decision of the trial judge stands as the present state of the law, and with that, and with there being no stay on the decision, that is the applicable law in Grenada, unless it is overturned by the appellate court.
Forrester described the argument put forward by Joseph as flawed.
Essentially, traffic wardens are not police officers.
As flawed as she make up. Anyhow.
Now, that finding to us was not surprising because, as on a review of the Road Traffic Act, in comparison to the Police Act, it is evident that the duties of traffic wardens are not equivalent to that of police officers. Even the duties in common between traffic wardens and police officers are in relation to regulating traffic, but there is no basis on which to state that only police officers can regulate traffic. It was a logical argument of the claimant, but flawed, I would say, was advanced. It was a flawed argument.
Christelina John, GBN News.
Yeah, that's the same people, because see, they're looking to see if they could get back one or two people in Carriacou, so they find out if they're able to say, well, we hire so-and-so daughter, and we hire so-and-so, and all of that, that they might be able to get through with a little something. You understand? All you do get in Carriacou, forget it. All you interfere with a kayak too, you know. So forget it. All you have no vote to get in Carriacou. They're looking for traffic. So traffic warden, all of a sudden, they ain't illegal again. You heard her. She claimed that the traffic wardens that look, there's the case, you know. Let me see if I could pull it up here. Yeah. Let me see if I could pull it up here. That the case itself here. Yeah, that the case itself. There's the claim number, everything, 2021, 24th of June, all of that. You understand? In essence, Ms. Joseph claims that the fixed penalty notice issued on her is unlawful, given that the post of traffic warden is not public office as provided by Section 111 of the Constitution, nor is a traffic warden lawfully employed by the Grenada Transportation Board. That is the same Ms. Joseph who is part of the government right now, who is the legal advisor to the government right now, who is the one that could tell the government, hey, what you all are doing is wrong, because she's the legal advisor to the same government that is now hiring traffic wardens. Yeah? Ms. Joseph filed an originating motion on 14th October 2020, which was amended on 21st December 2020, seeking the following reliefs: a declaration that a traffic warden in carrying out his or her duties is performing the functions of a police officer under Sections 23, 1E of the Police Act, namely controlling traffic upon public roads and removing obstructions therefrom. A declaration that the position of a traffic warden is a public officer within the meaning of Section 111 of the Constitution. A declaration that the appointment of a traffic warden by the Grenada Transportation Board is null and void. Folks, remember what I showed you just now. Remember what I showed to you all a little while ago. This what they're looking for? What the government that she's part of looking for right now? They are hiring who? Oh, traffic wardens in Carriacou. Join who? The Grenada Transport Commission, not the Royal Grenada Police Force. Join the Grenada Transport Commission and play your part in doing what? The same things that she say illegal. Efficient and orderly transport for our community. The same thing in her thing, she said is illegal. I ain't just saying it, I show you all the case itself as well. Yeah? Alternatively, a declaration that the appointment of a traffic warden by the Grenada Transport Board is ultra vires. Section 89 of the Constitution, null and void. A declaration that a fixed penalty notice issued by the traffic warden is null and void and of no effect. Yeah? Well, if people does learn the dog bite people and don't want to pay up after the dog bite people, you expect them kind of behaviors and them kind of... Them things shouldn't surprise all you. And you dog biting people and all kind of... I like to talk about cat, what about all your dog? Yeah? And all you laughing at the people and all kind of thing afterwards. That's the kind of people is. But they come in and walk in all your yard and all kind of thing. If all your dog bite them, all you feel they want money? They come in and walk in your yard to come and ask for food. If your dog bite them, they're taking you to court, you know. But when their dog bite people, must be a different story. Yeah. Going on here, tell you. Yes, indeed, folks. And let's move on quickly. Oh, before I go on to another one, let me just tell you all about another activity, as I just saw it coming in there, another activity that is taking place. So let me see if I can big it up here. Nice. Yeah. I don't want to forget this one, so I'm going to deal with that before I start on the next issue. Yeah. Holy Innocents Anglican Church, they're having their annual festival and harvest that's taking place on the 3rd of May. So that is next Sunday, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. That will be taking place there at the Rectory Grounds, La Digue in St. Andrew. Holy Mass starts at 7:30 a.m. Oh boy, that's going to be a nice one. 7:30 a.m. and then tea starts between 3 to 6 p.m. They have sales and games, so they have on sale provisions. They have pastries, food, drinks, dips, etc. all the way up to 10 p.m. Proceeds in aid of mission and ministry. So that's the Holy Innocents Anglican Church. They are having the annual Harvest Festival taking place on Sunday, the 3rd of May, 2026 at the Rectory Grounds in La Digue, St. Andrew. So they have the Holy Mass starting at 7:30 a.m. So you could go to Holy Mass, and then after that you could go home and you take your rest and so on. You come back out for 3 o'clock where they have the tea. So they have pastries on sale, provision, food, drinks, dips, everything. That's going to be starting at 3 p.m. and taking you all the way up until 10 p.m. Tea ends at 6, but the sales and games, that's going to take you up until 10. They have DJ Kangaroo. Yeah, DJ Kangaroo, Nassif. What's up, boy? Nassif, years I don't see you, boy. Nassif, years I don't see you, bro. Hope everything is going well with you, man. Yeah, DJ Kangaroo. Yes, indeed, folks. So there is the very topical issue at this point in time that I must mention of Guankai. And today we saw what happened. The ministry moved into the Guankai area and they destroyed a building, a building or two. They destroyed up there. I know of at least one that they did destroy up there in Guankai. And I'm just trying to pull up the news story on it. Let's see what the news had to say in relation to what took place in Guankai today. Yes, so let's see what they were saying there. Let's check GBN News.
Support and frustration within the community as the government enforces the Crown Lands Act. Shania McIntosh was on the scene this morning and has this report.
Decisive action has been taken against illegal occupation of Crown lands in Guankai, St. George. The Planning and Development Authority has begun enforcing the Crown Lands Act, targeting individuals living on state lands without formal allotment. Under the law, those found squatting faces fines of up to 1,000 Eastern Caribbean dollars or up to 3 months imprisonment if they do not vacate upon notice. Officials explain that acquiring Crown land requires submitting an application, undergoing a survey, and obtaining cabinet approval. Friday's demolition of a wooden structure marks the beginning of a broader effort, with more structures slated for destruction. While officials maintain the action is lawful, residents report mixed experiences. Some say authorities offered assistance, while others claim they received little support and now face uncertainty.
It's all behind there, no? Where you want to put him? On the street? He has children in it. Where you want him to go? Look at this, my sister. She has 4 children. Where you want him to go on the street?
I'm a citizen of the island. What am I to do? All of us have kids. All of us have kids and grandkids. Our parents didn't have it to give to us, and that is why we have to. We are here to acquire some of our birthrights, because people say it's Crown land. What is Crown land? Crown land typically belongs to the Queen, but we are here. The entire Grenada was Crown land.
One individual speaking off the record said those given a 7-day notice to leave have been granted an extension until next Tuesday, with a meeting planned for Saturday to discuss their situation. Attempts to reach South St. George Parliamentary Representative Andy Williams for comment were unsuccessful. The Planning and Development Authority says an official release will soon be issued to provide clarity. Government officials insist they remain committed to protecting vulnerable citizens through social protection programs. However, residents affected by the demolitions remain frustrated and are hoping for relief or intervention. Reporting for GBN News, Shania McIntosh.
Thank you so very much, Shania McIntosh and GBN News. Let me ask you a question there. Where them people sleeping tonight? Where are those people going to be sleeping tonight? Anybody have an idea? Where are their things going to be? There are children involved here. They're on the streets in Granans. They have to go and kubuse themselves by somebody. Where are they sleeping tonight? Your children are there. Look, mine lie down right there. He good. Where are these children? Because I'm a father. I'm a father. I'm an uncle. I'm a granduncle and all. So I feel it. Where are they sleeping tonight? Again, let me just make it clear here. Squatting is wrong. Yeah? Squatting is wrong. But I grew up in a squatting community. I was born in a squatting community. Not here in Grenada, in Trinidad. I was born in a squatting community. And it took nearly 30-something years before the government decided to regularize that particular area so that it's no longer a squatting community. People own the property where they are and so on. This is your spot, that is your spot. And the government came in and did proper housing and so for people in the area. But it was through desperation where people had nowhere to stay. They don't own any property. No family member die and leave property for them and that sort of thing. So they found themselves squatting because, or through desperation basically, you need a place to stay. That does not say, again, and let me clarify here, that does not say that it is right. And if you were told that, okay, this side of the hill is okay, but that side of the hill is bad, don't go on that side, and you go on that side, then you would have to face certain consequences. But even though you have to face certain consequences, the government needs to understand that they are dealing with human beings. And as such, when you're dealing with human beings, whatever you are doing, you need to do it with that in mind. What was the rush that you all had to destroy the house now? What was the reason? What was the urgency? What was the national urgency? Because this is a national issue. What was the national urgency that you all had to do that destruction now? The New National Party removed squatters before. You ever hear this kind of nonsense taking place? The New National Party, let me give an example here. Sobeys. After Hurricane Ivan in 2004, when you looked at the area where Sobeys is, you realized that no, these people cannot continue living there. Those who were right along the sea coast. Because the waves had come in and basically destroyed some of the buildings and put some of the others into the road and them kind of thing. And the NNP said, no, we can't leave these people living there. So what we'll do is we will build a new place and they will have the option to go there. And some of those with the concrete houses, you give them a certain option, which apartments, type of apartments they could get and so you move them off of the sea coast. You didn't go in and just start to break place left, right and center and say find place to stay. You're treating people like how people does exterminate cockroaches and rats. You destroy the nest and let them scamper. Or you try to poison them. That is how they're treating these people. But it's not the first time that the NDC doing this sort of thing. It is within the DNA of the NDC, the DNA of that political organization to do things like this. I will prove it to you in a while. You must remember as well, there's a situation with some people that had no rights to the land in Pandy. Remember that one? So you had people that were living up on top, close to where the original government building was on top. In fact, it had fellas that had built up thing under the pool. They had apartments, they built up. If you see how neat and thing they put that and they built under the pool and thing, some guys were living there. And you had people living right around on top there. The NNP government of the day said, hey, you all have to move. Did they just send a bunch of police who should be looking for the gunman that went inside a barber shop and shoot a man right in front of a little child and woman? Instead of they had the police out there looking for the gunman, they have police going and break down poor people place. Again, I'm not saying, I want to be very clear, because you have some sycophants and brown nosers of the present administration that are devoid of common sense and intellectual capability. And as such, they tend to spew a lot of nonsense and try to twist what you say. But that is why my program is an open program on air that you could go back and hear what I said for myself. So when you are in government, you have to have a thing called empathy and emotional intelligence to understand that you are dealing with human beings. It's not animals that you're going and break down the place. It's not some pen that you're going and break open and let pig run. It's human beings. So you can't just decide that you're going and break the place like that. We're trying to do, make an example. We know. We understand what's taking place, you know. Because if you look properly at the footage, you'd realize who living within distance are they, who could see they, and what they could see. Let me see if I could pull up a picture. You would understand part of the reason that they are so adamant that they must get rid of that is because in the back here, over in the back here, is where the Prime Minister live in. That's the problem, you know. Them people up there could see who go in, who come in, they could see all kind of thing from there. But where the Prime Minister living is in the back here. That area you see I play with the mouse, that is in the back here. The Prime Minister living. So they don't want them people and them to mark out business. So you see which one they go with first, the one that closest, the one at the closest point. That would be able to mark out business in the corner there. Because remember, as we heard from Eddie Frederick, they want him in the area there where he looking down on River Road people, ain't it? They don't want him there where he had to look down on River Road people. So now when he look across, he was seeing Guankai people. Now I'm saying, that's some of the most beautiful scenery in Grenada. Yes, the people have to relocate. Let's just not play with that factor. Them people ain't getting to stay there. They have to move. But it is how you do, not what you do. They have to move. You were told not to go there, and listen, they were told by the last administration and this administration, don't build there. Don't go on that side. They make their head hard and they go. But yes, they're still Grenadians. They still have a say in what goes on here. And you go learn that election day, they still have a say in what goes on in their country. And as such, in the same way that the NNP, when you had to move people from Mount Pandy, you say, hey, Mount Pandy is needed for this development. We need to move you all. And the people were shifted from Mount Pandy up to La Sagesse. The houses were prepared. You didn't break people's place and say, hit the streets. They went, they checked all of the people and them. They went and they built the places up in Pandy. And people were able to move from Pandy and go up to La Sagesse. That is the way you do things. You don't just go and break people's place. But again, as I mentioned, it is not the first time that this sort of thing takes place. Some of us memory does need a little reboot every now and again.
This evening, as the Housing Authority orders that a house be torn down, and the Minister of Housing giving the go-ahead to have it rebuilt on the same spot. The situation came to a head at Mount Fan as a mother of 6 refused months of warning to stop squatting on government lands. Arisha Joseph has the details.
The land on which this homeowner has been living is vested in the National Housing Authority. The demolition crew moved in on the instruction of the authority, which for the last 8 months has been asking her to relocate.
Yesterday about minutes after 12, I see those guys and then come and tell me they come and mahjong my house from housing. So I say, I come mahjong my house, here staying, me and my 6 children. They say the housing send them and break it. So I just they chill, they say they're waiting on a phone call. They say they after the guy say Pastor Stanford, Simon, call him and tell him to break it. So he say, well, that's really sad. So I could break the girl house with 6 children in it. So after they leave and they go and start to break down my house, they start to think the roof first. After they take me things and put it outside here.
However, Chairman of the Housing Authority, Stanford Simon, said that Ms. Phillip was informed on many occasions that she had to vacate the area, and she agreed.
The technical officer went and informed her that she was building on housing land. Ms. Phillip asked for the weekend so she can get a few people to help her to remove the structure. We said to her, fine, we give her a couple of days and ask her to, remove the structure, and she agreed that she will. 1 week later, we did a follow-up visit and realized that Ms. Phillip was building the house. Matter of fact, was almost finished. Instead of she removed it, she was building it. On September 16th, 2009, the anti-squatting, which comprised of the members of the Royal Grenadier Police Force and the SSU attached to the Ministry of Agriculture. We went there with some of our men from Housing Authority, and we carefully dismantled the house and left just part of it and tell her, finish it and take it away, and she promised that she will. And she asked for the time, and so we gave her to remove the rest of the house, and she agreed that she would do that. On September 21st, 2009, we, members of the technical staff of the Housing Authority, went back there and now seeing what was happening there. We had no choice but, again, to ask Ms. Phillip to remove. And so doing that, we found out that she was pretty much building back the house. That's actually building back the house. At that point, we then was quite, put it this way, we have gone the yard, we have done what we're supposed to do. A few days later, the general manager, accompanied by the technical officer again from Housing Authority, went and they asked her again to remove the house. To that end, she said that she will. Remember that she completely built the house. It was discovered that Ms. Phillip completed the house by December 2009. Realized that she completed the house, fully finished then, with all that we have done. Therefore, we notify our lawyers, Ms. Alindo, and ask him to write to her, and for which he did, giving us 7 days to remove the structure. And in so doing, we follow that up with a visit, indicating to her that we would come to remove the house if she failed to do so.
When GMN investigated the matter today, we were told that the Housing Authority, which owns the land, has been trying to settle a number of people who have made applications for the plots in the area. It was explained that Ms. Phillip's lot lies in the area designated as an access road, and hence the request by the authority that she was asked to move. Our news desk was also informed that one of Ms. Phillip's relatives provided her with a lot of land on which to construct a house, but that the offer was turned down. GBN contacted Housing Minister Glenn Noel today, who acknowledged that he was aware that the Housing Authority has asked Ms. Phillip to move on several occasions. However, he said after giving a humanitarian consideration to the situation, he visited the scene on Tuesday and agreed that the woman will be sold the existing plot of land. As such, he gave permission to have the house rebuilt. Chairman of the Housing Authority, Stanford Simon, did not comment on the report that neither he nor the authority was consulted before or after Senator Noel issued instructions which went contrary to those given by the National Housing Authority. Reporting for GBN News, Orisha Joseph.
So all you realize that this ain't no new thing with these people. Because that was under the last NDC administration in the year 2009. Yeah, 2009. And you realize the person who was the head of the Housing Authority at that point in time now offering himself as candidate in St. George. Some part of St. George. Me had to advertise for him. Yeah, the same Stanford Simon is offering himself. He had no problem breaking the house down of a woman with 6 children. No problem in doing that. Break it down. School books in the rain. School books outside. Where's one way? Whatever little groceries all over. He had no problem in breaking the house of a woman with 6 children. But he offering himself now. Yeah, he's candidate now. But so you all know who you're dealing with. You all understand who and what you're dealing with. But this was under the NDC and this was the mentality then and it's the mentality of the NDC now. You see this? You ever see this kind of thing happening under NNP? NNP going just so and break down people's place and all kind of thing? Or is the approach of the NNP, hey, what you're doing is wrong, but we need to find a new location and then you relocate the people. Shouldn't that be the approach? Well, you're asking where I get that from. Well, it's me that today, you know. It's all about where I get that from.
Carol Maitland tells us about the latest case in the St. Andrew area.
Deborah Phillip and her family would soon be back in their home after a traumatic day yesterday. It was a sad moment when members of the Special Service Unit SSU demolished her house yesterday. The young mother of 6 told MTV that this is the second time she has had to put up with this bad experience.
Yesterday morning, I get home and see those guys and come and tell me they come and break my house. That day I see they come and bring out my things and they start to break down my house.
Did you get any notice?
Okay, I get it when last week, Wednesday. Last week Wednesday I get it for Thursday, for to break it Thursday. You can't just give a notice, say like give somebody a notice, say like to break a house, say like for 2 days, for tomorrow. That can work.
So they didn't give you any notice prior to this?
No. This is the second time my house is break. And I have to stay outside. Me and my 6 children.
Family members and friends expressed their disgust with the situation.
I think that this is very sad for the community at large because it's very bad because everybody is squatting.
As a parent, it must hurt a person to see now a mother have to go and sleep in her house. And people in government don't even care nothing about the situation at hand.
But in this area, you have several houses. And which had never attacked none of the houses. But it's only this house here now. They're targeting, and this is the second time this house had really broken down.
Look, all she children books wet. She's 6 children. She had to be by my niece cooking and sort of thing. I find that is really shit. Because at least they could have given her more time. You know, get somewhere to put her and let she break the house. But it's unfair. That is twice and it's a sad story.
Chairman of the Housing Authority, Stanford Simon, had this to say on the issue.
Now, this was a process that we went through. We also learned that someone was willing to give her a spot to put the house. We, Housing Authority, make available the persons who took down the structure to help her rebuild on the piece of land wherever that may be that the person was offering to her. I learned that she refused what was offered to her. Now, this is as much as we can do. I think it needs to be made very clear that Housing Authority, in its responsibility, is a statutory body and do not get a subvention from government. Its responsibilities is to build houses for Grenadians. That's what we do. But if persons continue to squat on their available land, that we should be building, doing development for persons who need housing in the future, then where will we get land from? We cannot afford to buy land at market price. These was land offered to the housing authority. We are not doing this in any way against one particular person. This is across the board. If you're squatting on housing land, we give you adequate notice to move. If you do not move, we would use the law and what is given to us and to secure it in the interest of the people of this country.
The Housing Authority plans to continue to look into the squatting situation all over the island with the hope of discouraging new squatters. MTV understand that the Minister of Housing, Glenn Noel, today visited the area and made arrangement for the house to be rebuilt. Carol Maitland, MTV News.
Imagine that. You could have seen one of the children there like he just come home from school. Still in a uniform. Imagine as a little boy. And he should be a voting age man right now. Eh? Yeah, that was long. That's 2009. So he should be a voting age man now. But imagine as a little child, you come home from school in a uniform. You just finishing school and you reach home to see that your house smashed down. And all your toys, everything outside. That is what Stanford Simon and the NDC at that point in time did to that family in Mount Fan. Only thing I didn't forget these things. I don't forget these things. Because I have emotions. I'm a human being. And I never forget that family and what they went through. Mount Fan, will you ever forget that? Ask me where I find it. I know where to find things. I will never forget things. The phone line's open. Call. 440-7377. Call on WhatsApp. And 421-7279. Call on WhatsApp only. Saying that every night, and then I seen a set of missed calls during after the program. Call on the WhatsApp. Yeah, you all can call on the WhatsApp. Call now. Yeah, no, they must remember I don't forget things, you know. Yeah, I don't forget. And I may forgive, but I don't forget. I don't trade that they had Calypso, they had sing a song like that. Yeah? So yeah, those, them feel people forget them. You're going and run now for office. Go and run for office. I mean, everybody have a right. If I decide I want to run, nobody can tell me I can't run. I look at the run too. I look at the run. I go in and run too. But just remember, people ain't forgetting. That is what was done by that individual to that family up there in Mount Fan. That is what was done by the NDC administration to that family out there in Mount Fan. These are the kind of things that this NDC administration, you don't see them kind of thing taking place when NNP in office. You see NNP doing that to people. Again, I use the Pandy for you all. Pandy. When the people from Pandy had to be moved, went down, you had the negotiation with them, went and they built all the places up there in Las Ajes. The people were shifted from Pandy to Las Ajes. They get a place in Las Ajes. You had to move the people from Sobeys. You say, listen, all you had to move from there. The people were moved from Sobeys up into the housing scheme there. All I see are one or two people coming back and think there. But they were moved up into the housing scheme there. It is simple. If you want the people to move from there, in the same way, this week, you move people in Baltazar and you build other place and you shift them from place from there to the new place. I hear in one instance, some people with a bigger structure, you offer them 300 grand or some kind of thing. That's what I'm hearing. I ain't know how true that is. But you move the people because you're going and do a project in that area. What project is taking place on Guankai? That is what we have to ask now. Has the land been sold, and if so, to who? Because there seems to be some sort of devilish urgency to remove the individuals who are living in that area. Maybe they're seeing too much what is going on in the Prime Minister residence. Maybe their eyes are going too much to the left. So they are seeing too much of what is going on there and they consider it a national security issue. So they want the people move. If that is so, say so. But he's not supposed to be there in the first place. Because he's a squatter too. He have a place to live and he's not in it. So the Prime Minister is a squatter too. Okay, you have no right to be where he is right now. You have a right to be in Mount Royal. That is where he should be. So if squatting is wrong for one, squatting is wrong for all. That is what I say about it. Yeah, let's go to the phone lines. We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, Sheldon. How are you doing?
I'm quite fine. Go right ahead.
Yeah. Sheldon, two wrong don't make right. You know, the squatters, they were told not to build, and they go and build there. That is wrong. But breaking down the people's place, and having all the things exposed, the children go to school, the uniform, the books, everything also, all the things that they want to purchase and have inside the house, exposed outside. That don't make no sense, Sheldon. What you have to do, what the government should do, find some way to put them people before you break down the place. Like, Sheldon, okay, like you have a house, eh? Okay, say that house is good. What will you do? Will you break down the house that you're living in before you build a house? But will you stay where they still, and then when you build a next house, then you move and go to the next house? But this is exactly what the government do. You break down the people's place. You don't find no way to put them. You put only one thing outside. Children, this is weakness to the highest max, and this government, I always say, they will help poor people. They will help poor people. Because, children, when you check and look at NDC again, Sense Community Governance, what they are doing to the poor people going to carry competing Martin. Check what the people benefit, what they delivering to the poor people going to carry competing Martin. What they delivering, more pain, more corruption, more pressure, more headache. So there's nothing the people say that they achieve under NDC for the 4 years. I'm 4 years because June we make 4 years. Nothing positive that the young people, the seniors, the young people, and the poor people say they satisfy what NDC did. You know, in pressure upon pressure, these people are going to compete in my think. So these are a government that will seek your interest. A government that will see you and how they see themselves. And I listen to the people play stuff for Simon. The land is for the people going to compete in my thing. Children who live in a house, foreigners, no Ghanaians, yes, they might do it illegally. But then, if you have to, as a squatting, you have to sell it and give them the first priority. Give them the first priority, children, and you have that for Simon of going to politics. He was the chairman of the housing authority that did that to the young lady and his 6 children in Mountain Pan. Children, NDC is a wicked bunch of people that they don't care about people. And what they care about, and they're fighting to stay in governance to satisfy their need. Now the poor people go to compete with it. And children, it is alleged they're going out and they're telling people that if they want a house, they want material, they have to make sure they're voting for them. If you don't vote for them, nothing for you. Children, have a blessed night.
All right, thank you. Yes, indeed. And who's this idiot now? Okay, right. Nice. Yeah, that dealt with. Yes, indeed, folks. So if you are going to do something like that, what you ought to do is simply say, hey, but you see, if they had been doing the right thing with the houses that were donated by the Chinese, but then they found the houses that the Chinese donated was too good for the average Grenadian. They said it, you know. They said that those houses that were built there were too good for the average Grenadian. That wasn't good for anybody low income. The Chinese brought it and they built it, they say, for low income housing. The government before said low income housing. They come in and say, that's too good for poor people, man. Let me give that to some upper people with money, you understand? Don't forget them. Do not forget them. Yeah? Don't forget them. We ain't forgetting none earlier. Mr. Hugh Thomas.
Ultimately, with condominiums, there is a maintenance issue. Personally, I don't believe they work well in the lower income bracket. I think condominiums, when you look at it in the States and stuff, it works better in a higher income bracket because people know they have to pay maintenance costs. All right? Regardless of what you pay for the condominium. Ultimately, with condominiums, there is a maintenance issue. Personally, I don't believe.
Remember, there's the chairperson of the housing authority right now. I don't think he's been changed as far as I know. But this was a statement in relation to the low-income housing that was provided for the Chinese for low-income earners here in Grenada. They changed it and they say, okay, it's condominiums, and they find it was too good for average Grenadians. We have a caller on the line. Let's go to the phone line. Hello, good night.
Good night, Brother Sheldon.
Hey, good night. How you doing?
Not too bad.
All right, go right ahead.
I'm watching that thing, and I was in manager squatting unit,
Lord
I was in charge.
Poor you.
After Ivan, I was in charge. I was the man in charge at squatting. And this thing with the lady house, when the manager from the house authority sent me there, and I see the house, I said, no man, that one can't be that nice. The hotel is so strong. So I go and tell her, no, the house, I find, but the next day she called me, asked me where is. I said, I'm in Quarry Street. She told me she want the house break. No, I said, well, I'm tongue already. Because I didn't want to do it. Because I find it was unfair. And when I go and check he had plenty of houses and everybody was squatting. And what they say now, she building the road. And when I watch the area, there was a big place behind for the road to pass, but there was a big mango tree. But he had place for the road. As well, I talked to all the places, I said, well, why they break the house and everybody squatting? And beyond behold, when they break the house, well, I didn't even know when they break. I said, I don't go. I didn't go. I worked 10 years squatting in charge, and I never break down nobody's house in this way. As a matter of fact, the only thing I break is thing by the road. Down on the bus terminal in Grenville, I get out everybody there. Get spot for them in telescope about. Send somebody else and give them family and get out everybody without one was break because I was trying to get the fella and he wasn't staying. So when I get fed up, I break it. And he didn't stay in it yet. So this thing, and what was a lie? There's a big man, he's a pastor and plays and he's telling lies. He's telling lies. They also have strong, nice house. He didn't building and bill over. He was a house, complete house, and he was living in the house. So when I see it, when they send me, I said, no man, no, they go break the girl house. When I speak, everybody they was squatting. I said I find that funny. Then they saying they had to pass the road. I said, when they making a road, where she is there and the bong is, you have a big road you could make on the side of her going up because they are big, So there are no big man. They say no point and they was lie, telling lies. What he always say is lie. I know. I wasn't charged squatting. Me. I saw the police with me. And when Clarkson came, he had a big, he able to build a big thing in Traffic Canada. And he stayed about 3 months after the carnival. And when we break it, the Clarkson say we have to write a report. And I said, well, no, I have a law in my hand. They tell me after carnival, 1 week after, everything should come down. He stayed 3 months. And then he get vexed, he called back the police and leave me on my own. But I do my work. Same Pandy. The same place where they had the problem now. I used to be up there about three times a week. We had notice and we making sure the people cannot build. They cannot go that side. We had notice and we always visit him. But what happened after I retire? It takes so long to bring back the squatting unit. And maybe they didn't travel in the area, so the people go on the bill. And you can't just break out people's soul, not because they squat. You cannot. That is not good. You can't do people that. This thing about me feelings, you can't do people that. You break out people's place and when they sleep in. So what? They go with the land? So don't study what Sanford said. He lied. He make an excuse. I go and see the place. And I say no. I tell the manager, I don't know why the thing that they say is a road that the road have to pass. So when they say they break it, the Tuesday morning, I come downtown. I go in the forestry. They have it road. I didn't go. When she called, I said, I'm in town. She said, what you need? I said, well, let her go another day. And after the house break, I didn't even realize the girl was my relative. We own relative. I didn't even know. When I go and talk to her, and I see So don't worry them. They too worthless, they do bad mind. You don't bring them to the place too. 10 years I work squatting all over the place. All land and all government land. Frequented. Wait, all about weeds, all on the other side of Mount Hatman, all about down in Mount Hatman, all on top of the hill of the all about weeds. And where they can be, we are noticed. And we're making sure we go in and visit the place. So when you leave it so and they do what they want now, get somewhere and put them. Why you breaking them? Why you putting the what? Why you so busy breaking to do? Yeah? Man, I don't understand. Anyway, Scott.
Thank you so
very much for listening to me.
Man, thank you so very much for calling. That's a cherry on
take what I tell you. We get from the last month. I was in charge.
Yes,
for
sir.
10 years.
That is the cherry on
I was in charge. Yes, I was in charge. Don't worry him. Don't worry why he lie. He make excuses. Because Glenn, next day no Glenn let him build back the house. Next day he said build it back. And the house still there and they making the road.
The house still there up to this day, isn't it?
It's still there. I don't want to make the road. And when I go tell them, I say, no, well, why they say to be, I say, well, you have place for the road, look at big area behind for the road. It's only the mango tree to come out. Why you want to break the girl house? So the next day, when I report to the manager in housing authority, that time we did below the hospital there, at a situation. So the Tuesday morning she called me and tell me she want the house break. I said, well, in town. She tell me, I said, well, send them. Because I'm in town already, I ain't going back up. I didn't want to break the house. I said, it was unfair. When I was young, well, be strong. I said, what are you doing that for? I go wrong, break how much thing by the road, when they building thing by the road, we give no time, we break it. Sometimes when I give them a chance, they go break it and say, take it out. But nobody dwelling house. We never destroy no dwelling house. I will tell you, I 30-something was on the port on Grenville Day, 32. I get out all of them without breaking out, without and then they get place to go. So why they do that? So why they could make fame? They make it fame. They looking for fame.
And my friend,
just saying that message.
I remember what happened in Pandy because I remember going up on top the hill there, what we used to call the ruins. It's had guys that build up a house under the pool. I remember that. The guys build around and they stayed inside under the pool. And it had other people had little houses around there. Government didn't just go and break down everybody's house and say scatter. They build places where them suggest.
Exactly. Forester living somewhere around below there. Every week we up in Pandy, they going up, make sure people don't build. We say, well, you can build, but we taking stuff and say, we know it is, don't build, don't continue. We up and down. We all over frequent. They all over. Sometimes I get fed up because so much we driving past by the hotel, go on the other side and look over. We come back, we go to the big hill and look over. We all over the place. Because I had the transport on my own. So we move in. All by the road. Police saying they can't move a vehicle. I have to get vehicle called by the road. Don't study them, man. The public they're making. Don't worry them. Why are you breaking the people out for? Give them a chance to move it.
And the other thing is, what is the urgency that the people have to? Because remember, now they tell the others, because I was hearing earlier talk at the getting bulldozer to come up and so for the concrete ones. The urgency now is we're going and move the rest of all. Look, they just move some people down in Baltazar there. They build new place for them and they move them. Why they couldn't take the same approach to the people in Guankai?
That's what you have to do.
And what is the urgency in Birch Grove, in Baltazar? You could understand, okay, we're going to redo the bridge. We need the area to do the bridge. I think everybody could understand that and say, well, okay, no problem. In Guankai, we know they have to move. We're not saying they go stay there, they have to move. But it is how you do it. You can't say, well, okay, let us build back better houses somewhere else for them and move them. You're just breaking place. And where the people where the children sleeping tonight? That is my question.
Not all of them have to move. Not all of them have to move. You decide what you don't want. Tell them, get place. Tell them, okay, we go send you so. We go send you so. We go find somewhere to put you. You can't just take. I mean, come on, man. This plan have a heart, man, and they say that some symbol is heart, and that's what they doing, people. So I tell you, feel for when they bring the young girl out to the hot me. It is so hot when I see the house well strong and built so nice, and you break the girl house. I say she didn't road. And I'm really lie. They just had a problem with her for certain reason. I won't say nothing. I won't say it here. They had the problem. That was the problem. Because I talked to her, and I didn't know me family. Yo.
All right, brother. Thank you so very much for your call, man. Don't be a stranger. Call anytime.
I don't like people, I will call something when I see something what I need to say, I go call.
Yes, I understand.
You guys see, I said my with my grandchild, where the call?
Yes. I remember the voice, man.
Right. Yeah, man, bless up.
All right.
One the best.
Okay, caller.
Good.
Blessings.
Nice.
So you heard it from the man himself, who was in charge of the anti-squatting unit at that point in time, from the videos I showed you a while ago. And that's why I tell you, this is within the DNA of the NDC. That is how they operate. Because let me give you all a warning right now. Guankai is not the only area they're going after. That's not the only area they're going after. I'm going to warn you all in Granans Valley. I'm going to warn you all in Montu. And I'm going to warn you all who up behind where Dynamite Disco used to be there, the bullpen, on the hill behind it. Warning you all, they coming for all your necks. All they coming for. They just ain't give all your notice yet, but it's written already. They coming for all your necks. And then when you're calling the MP, he answer any phone. The MP won all kind of program. He on YouTube, he on Facebook, he on radio, he on every program about Guankai and so much he's doing for the people at Guankai, and we do road and we do all this kind of thing. They do the road and they do the water for who they're looking to sell the land to or who they have sold the land to. They ain't do it for the people who there right now. We have a call. Hello?
Hey, Brother Sheldon.
How
good
you
evening,
doing,
sir.
I'm good, man. You go right ahead.
Yes. Watch me, Brother Sheldon. Radiance. So all is still taking flashlight to shine the Dickon Mitchell-led administration. Don't take a flashlight to shine these people. Listen to me. Take, for example, what you are speaking about. I allude to the same fact that it was 2007, right, when Discovery and so on had this project down there, and the people had to move.
Mm-hmm.
The administration that was in office was Dr. Mitchell and the NNP, right? Just before election 2008, yeah, not too long after was election, and they make sure, the administration made sure ascertain that the houses in Lasages were completed, right? There were little infrastructure work to do, like the completion of the walls and so on, and so forth. And the people happily moved up to that area, right? Now, take for example what happened during burial. These people, they don't have no heart. People went to seek shelter in those houses built by the Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
They ran them out. They sent securities to move them.
In both Bujeju, here in Grenada, and in Carriacou.
And Carriacou as well.
Yeah.
And the places were not that damaged to say they could have, if they had a heart, they could have. And Grenadians, take note of that. That would be an ingredient towards not voting them back into office. Look what they did to last suggestion. They said these houses and current those houses too good for the poor people. I was involved. Our community group was involved in assisting people, right, to fill up the forms to send to housing, to get some of the houses. And some of the people that we assist, some of the police officers, well, some of them got through, thank God, right? But they had to buy the houses. They had to buy for big money. Yeah. So now they're looking for the minister to give an answer, to respond, to stand by the people. He cannot be found. Huh? Blaming it, they start blaming it on NNP, you know. Alexandria started, but that was then. They all know the law with regards to squatting, right? We're not saying that that should have happened at all. It should not have happened, right?
And we're being very clear. If we just allow haphazard squatting and so on, you're going to end up in problems. So you're saying people will have to move from time to time. You will have to move groups of squatters from an area. But when you're doing it, it's how you're doing it. You don't just go and start breaking people's place. That is animal behavior. That is dog behavior.
I remember Senator the Honorable Chester Humphrey. Name it for what it is. He told the Tillman-led administration, he told NNP, watch out and be careful how we go about this thing on that hill. Right? You see where it end up now? See where it end up now? But finally, brother, finally, people, I gave somebody a ride the other day, and that person said that they listen to your program all the time and is a nurse, and she said herself and her colleague nurses would never vote for any administration who would not want to continue the hospital, the building of a new hospital, right? So the important thing here is, brother, is that we need to educate our people on this Polaris city. The city is what we're not understanding.
But no one has ever said that they are against having a new hospital. The issues have been raised that there's insider corrupt trading taking place by the Prime Minister, ensuring that he gets the property adjacent to that, and that the NDC as a political organization also gets property adjacent to Project Polaris. There's also an issue when it comes to funding towards Project Polaris. Explain to us, the Grenadian people, how you're going to build 500 houses a year and do Project Polaris at the same time, and then maybe convince some people that it is a realistic achievement. You know they don't even have drawings for Project Polaris right now. What they do is some things that they would like, but they have not actually put together the drawings. They have not done the geotechnical studies on the soil and so on. They have done none of these things, you know.
The sponsor, the project sponsor said that, you know, when that young journalist asked her the question, she catch her right under she wing. She couldn't even twist a ton. She couldn't even think, because the young journalist hit her that question so fast under her belt, and she had to speak the truth. Some concept, some project concept, something like that. Some concept she talk about. Yeah. Now the people need, listen, that's the most corrupt government ever, you know. The most corrupt government ever. You know how Maurice Bishop would have called his people? Corrupt government. We're calling them so too as well. And bubble bourgeoisies. And that's who they are. They are bourgeois. They are persons who just waiting to prey on people. Look what they're doing to the poor set of people in this country. But they up the fronting, eh? If you notice the fronting, Brother Sherlon, they are fronting with a lot of apparent projects and doing a lot of things. I listened to GBN today, and nothing about. I mean, yes, they did talk about the situation down the hill, but they just flash it, bloop and run, and then they talk a lot about other things that, you know, that just a catch. But the real issue, like that Africa visit the Prime Minister made, yes, all these things what we need to organize another forum, you know, to tell the people what's going on in Grenada. Some of the persons not hearing.
The thing is, I was involved in the media since the days that Mrs. Nancy Maguire was
Yes.
the press secretary
Press secretary, I remember that.
Prime Minister Mitchell. I was involved in the media since those days. And one of the things that you always got from Nancy is a release. The Prime Minister traveled to this place and he come back, or this minister traveled to this place and they come back.
Sure. Press conference.
You would know, one, that the minister is traveling, where they're going, what they're going and do. When they come back, there would be a press conference or a post-cabinet where they would say what they achieved when they went on that particular trip. So people would come back and say, well, okay, there's grant funding available from that trip that I made. We're putting together a proposal to get that grant funding. There is a loan available at concessionary terms from this institution. We're putting things together to get that loan. You would hear from them and you would get an update through the parliament or a further press conference afterwards of what is taking place. These government ministers just traveling on lime. They don't have nothing. In the 4 years that these people, close to 4 years that these people have been in office, I challenge anyone to bring 3 or 4 videos of them coming back and having a press conference with significant benefits for the Grenadian people. And I ain't talking about signing MOU. I'm talking about significant benefits. We've got $300 million here for this project, and that we've seen the groundwork of that project actually start. Show me any other.
They are not transparent. They're not bringing the people up to speed. And listen, people, I'm telling you, don't make that mistake. It will be a mistake if you vote these people back into office. It would be a real serious mistake you would make. We are not seeing the face or the picture of the Almighty in this administration. Right? They had a meeting the last time. No prayer. Yeah. These people they're not really ready for governing yet, but we just put them in there, thinking that they will do so much. Paving road is something that is accustomed to. Building bridges and walls, we are accustomed. That's the duty of a government in office to improve the infrastructure. So if every government that comes into office do something with the infrastructure, then come on, Grenada would be uplifted. Look at what the terminus, the stadia, and all these things that the former administration did. But bringing electricity and water and other things to the people, in the country, beneficial. And you don't hear we boasting about it. Yeah. People need to keep track of the movements of this administration. The things that they are hiding from us, they're hiding a lot of things from us.
All I would say, Pastor, is that the people who are living in the following areas in the south need to look out, because they come in for all you. The people who are living up behind Dynamite Disco on the hill up there, I saw they send the people, the regularization people. All you feel is regularize, they're looking to regularize all you. No, they're taking note of how much all you have, because they're looking to move all you. I was right there when the people come from the ministry to go and check in and talk about land regularization. They're not going to regularize you all. They intend to move you all because there's a plan for that particular area. Yeah? So don't think it's Guankai alone. It's Guankai, it's all you. Is Granans Valley, they come in for all you too. Those of you in Montu, they come in for all you too. Some of all you in Belmont in different areas, they come in for all you too. So don't think this thing is over, It just started.
Let's put something in tack here. You see that rush they're rushing is not only because the election coming, They are rushing because they have an investor. I believe I discern that there is an investor coming that they want to sell or give that area and that top area there, that top place, right, overlooking the harbor. You mad? You think this government go on the poor and vulnerable people live on top there? But that is prime land there. They want an investor It could be the guy down there at Kuana. It could be that guy down there at Kuana because, I mean, the connect here, look at the lines. Huh? Come on.
All I'm going to say is it overlooking the Prime Minister. You want nobody macking him right now. So that's why you want them move. No. You want them
so they treat them like a river road and a Dabu thing there.
They want them move. No. Anyway, Pastor, we won't talk again, my brother. All right. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm warning, and I will play the 2 videos that I played earlier. I'll play them again in a little while, you know. Yes, I'll play them before I end. I will play those 2 videos again. They date back to 2009, but they give an indication of how the NDC as a political organization, how they behave when they are in office, what is within their DNA. The only thing is I don't have video of when the first NDC was in office, but you know that happened under that NDC too in the same, listen. Somebody was telling me about that earlier. How much people who living in Cali San Frequente, how much are you that living down there didn't start off as squatters? How many people in Cali, Frequente, all these areas down on this side here, how many of you didn't start off as squatters? How many of you had legal title when you start off down on these ends? Or was that not a situation that you all were squatting and then it was regularized later on? Because see, some of the same people who went through that process attacking the people in Guankai, some of the same people who started off as squatters, and yes, you have your papers and you have your documentation for your property now, but you started off as squatters. And the intention is they were gauging how people would react to what is taking place in Guankai right now. Telling what the plan is. They're gauging how people will react to that. And according to the reaction is, remember what I say, do it early. Do it early. So they're hoping they can win the next election and move all your when? Early. Get all your out of the way. And then they feel people will accept it and people will say, well, it's okay and all of that. But the intention is to move you all early. Get you all out of the way. So Granans Valley, they're coming for you. Montu, they're coming for you. Yeah? The Limes, they're coming for you. And you go say, I did say, because it does say I have goat mouth. It's not goat mouth. I could see what they are attempting to do before they even do it. I could see it. I just know what they're going and do before they even do it. I've been involved in this thing long enough to understand what they're doing. So I could see what they're coming to do. Why you think all of a sudden, the one minister I think probably any media person could have always find is Andy Williams. Something like this taking place, one. As far as I know, I haven't heard up to this point in time that Andy Williams went up there to commiserate with the people. Or to immediately get his office to jump into action and say, well, okay, this is taking place, but let's find a place to put these people for the time being until we could sort out a build back better house for them somewhere else or something like that. The Andy Williams that all of us have been led to believe is the real Andy Williams. That is usually the situation. By now he done jump into thing and he done gone and do this and he done gone and do that and all sort of thing. But now down to the media calling him and you can't find him. Yes, we're going a little after 10 because the issue is important. Yeah? So them feel that I don't know how my files. I always have my files. Yeah? I always have my files. So don't think that we don't have our documentation in relation to all of these things that these people have been doing over the years. Yeah? Some people still asking where I get it. Don't worry where I get it, man. I have it at the bottom. Don't worry with where I get it. Study that I have it. That's the main thing. Alright? Yeah? So somebody's saying here, right, no, NMP didn't bulldoze and run people. They found alternatives such as act, such an act is bad for a person's mental health. That is exactly the same. Yes, true. Wonder how number 10 feels about it. Yeah? Number 10 on election night will be number 1, because that is the first person that gained licks election night. Number 10. Yeah, so just remember you had to drop the zero. Well, in one equation, you have to remove the zero because she'll be number one as in the first person to get licks. And then in another equation, you have to remove the 1 because she will be a 0. Yeah? She'll be a 0. After that particular, she already has 0 in my mind, but she'll be a full 0 at that point in time. Yeah? So folks, understand some of what is going on here. We have to investigate, we have to inquire as to who is after that portion of land. Because there is an unholy haste. An unholy haste to get these people off of that land. And there must be a reason for that. We have a caller online. Go right ahead, caller.
Hey, Shalom.
Hey.
Good night.
Hey, sir.
The reason why that road been done up there, they making the people feel they do it for them. But all this land up there is for sale to foreigners, investors. So they're making this big show now and they telling people they will give them water and all kind of thing. But this place up there is for sale. They're going to move all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is exactly what's going to take place. Remember, government has acquired the property to the bottom part that they have now leased out to the developers of that hotel project there. That's down to the bottom part there. And again, we are not saying that you can't move the people. In my mind, and I'll repeat it again, the people have to move. You can't just decide that you're going there and all kind of thing and you're going and put up a place they know. You have to move. But it's always the same situation. And I spoke the same way. And that's why I always say I'm glad that I belong to a political organization. That we don't have to change we song. We don't have to change our narrative. We don't have to change what we say in or out of office. And I'm proud that Dr. Mitchell always made sure that that was the case. And that the Honorable Emlyn Pierre, the Honorable Mr. Gregory Boyne and Roland Bola and people like the Honorable Emlyn Pierre, they don't have to say one thing in opposition and then change the words that they say when they're in government. Yeah? They don't have to do that. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good night.
Hello, good night.
Good night, caller. Go right ahead.
Yeah, calling from Southeast, St. Andrews.
Southeast St. Andrew. Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
I've been watching your program for a little while now.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to call to let people hear over the air. Since burial, I have not been sleeping in my house.
My goodness. Since burial, you're talking about over 2 years, close to 2 years now, you know.
Yeah, you could come good.
Yeah. So what is the exact situation now? The roof was damaged, the house was destroyed. What took place?
I lost the roof. Well, I guess as much right now, everybody gonna know who is talking on the radio right now. But I ain't care about that.
No, the fact is that you're going through a situation. There's nothing wrong with talking about it.
Yeah, I know. The present government, under MIT. Well, I will break it down to you.
Mm-hmm.
When the roof gone, I went to the Southeast office, upstairs by Beehive there. I tell them I want a roof. I did put back a little roof so I could sleep in, but when rain started to fall, he flying inside.
Wow.
Then they tell me they can't find me paper. I go back again, don't estimate. Then they tell me they have to put me on a special program.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up with Andy, MIT.
Mm-hmm.
I had to sign a set of documents to get that approval. I did that. Right now, I have material on the ground, and I have beams that need to be cast. I have sand, I have gravel, I have board.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is the cement.
After all that cement they get it, a whole shipload of cement reaching the country, you telling me the saying they do have cement? And you know you're the second person for this week telling me about work hold up because there's no cement?
Yeah, well, if you pass by me and you see what I have without cement, you could tell me and you could build the house.
Hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, here's what
So
here's what I would do, caller. I'll link up with you off the program, so that when I'm coming into St. Andrew within the next 2 weeks or so, I'll make a special effort and pass through by you.
Yeah, well, once you call me off here.
Yeah, I'll call you off here. I'll call you off here and I'll confirm, and then I'll come up within the next 2 weeks. I'll be in St. Andrew.
When you come, you're going to see, and I will show you what the situation I'm in right now.
Okay, my brother. So I'll be in contact with you. Thank you so very much for your call.
Yeah, I always wanted to get to with you because
man, you call anytime, brother. You call anytime.
Yeah, but I just make sure I put the number on the WhatsApp tonight to call you.
No problem. All right.
So I get through tonight.
Yeah, man.
So I don't know if I will get through for anything else, but
nah, man, call. Just call. The only time I wouldn't take the call is if I was playing something, or if somebody else is on the line, or I didn't open to take calls yet. That's the only way. Other than that, I'm taking all calls. All right.
Now it's first time I did that. So
okay, no problem.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Same to you. Yes, indeed, folks. So we're going to check up on that individual because since burial and they can't be back comfortable by now and you're giving them the runaround. Now, it's one thing if there are different impediments on the government end that is stopping that from happening. But when it's a case that you just playing around and doing things to stress out people, that's another case totally. And someone asked me to replay these, so let me replay it. Yeah, let me replay them. Let me replay them for all you, eh? Yeah, let me replay them for all today because somebody just asked me. They say, Shalon, you had to replay them 2 clip. You had to replay them. All right, so let me go and replay them. Right? Yeah, let me replay them so that you all could see for yourself what an NDC government doing and does always be doing. Yeah?
Squatting comes to life again. Carol Maitland tells us about the latest case in the St. Andrew area.
Deborah Phillip and her family would soon be back in their home after a traumatic day yesterday. It was a sad moment when members of the Special Service Unit SSU demolished her house yesterday. The young mother of 6 told MTV that this is the second time she has had to put up with this bad experience.
Yesterday morning, I did home and see those guys and come and tell me they come and break my house. That day I see they come and bring out my things and they start to break down my house.
Did you get any notice?
Okay, I get it when last week, Wednesday. Last week Wednesday I get it for Thursday, for to break it Thursday. You can't just give a notice, say like give somebody a notice, say like to break a house, say like for 2 days, for tomorrow, that can work.
So they didn't give you any notice prior to this?
No. This is the second time my house is break. And I have to stay outside. Me and my 6 children.
Family members and friends expressed their disgust with the situation.
I think that this is very sad for the community at large because it's very bad because everybody is squatting.
As a parent, it must hurt a person to see now a mother have to go and sleep in her house and people in government don't even care nothing about the situation at hand.
But in this area, you have several houses, and we had never attacked none of the houses. But it's only this house here now. They targeting, and this is the second time this house had really broken down.
Look, all she children books wet. She's 6 children. She had to be by my niece cooking and sort of thing. I find that is really shit. Because at least they could have given her more time. You know, get somewhere to put her and let she break the house. But it's unfair. That is twice and it's a sad story.
Chairman of the Housing Authority, Stanford Simon, had this to say on the issue.
Now, this was a process that we went through. We also learned that someone was willing to give her a spot to put the house. We, Housing Authority, make available the persons who took down the structure to help her rebuild on the piece of land wherever that may be that the person was offering to her. I learned that she refused what was offered to her. Now, this is as much as we can do. I think it needs to be made very clear that Housing Authority, in its responsibility, is a statutory body and do not get a subvention from government. Its responsibilities is to build houses for Grenadians. That's what we do. But if persons continue to squat on the available land that we should be building, doing development for persons who need housing in the future, then where will we get land from? We cannot afford to buy land at market price. These was land offered to the Housing Authority. We are not doing this in any way against one particular person. This is across the board. If you're squatting on housing land, we give you adequate notice to move. If you do not move, we would use the law and what is given to us and to secure it in the interests of the people of this country.
The Housing Authority plans to continue to look into the squatting situation all over the island with the hope of discouraging new squatters. MTV understand that the Minister of Housing, Glenn Noel, today visited the area and made an arrangement for the house to be rebuilt. Carol Maitland, MTV News.
This is the evening news on
It's a case of who is in charge this evening as the Housing Authority orders that a house be torn down and the Minister of Housing giving the go-ahead to have it rebuilt on the same spot. The situation came to a head at Mount Fan as a mother of 6 refused months of warning to stop squatting on government lands. Arisha Joseph has the details.
The land on which this homeowner has been living is vested in the National Housing Authority. The demolition crew moved in on the instruction of the authority, which for the last 8 months has been asking her to relocate.
Yesterday about minutes after 12, I see those guys and then come and tell me they come and mahjong my house from housing. So I say, I come mahjong my house, yeah, staying, me and my 6 children. They say the housing send them and break it. So I just they chill, they say they waiting on a phone call. They say after the guy say Pastor Stanford Simon call him and tell him to break it. So he say, well, that's really sad. So I could break the girl house with 6 children in it. So after they leave and they go and start to break down my house, they start to think the roof first. After they take me things and put it outside here.
However, Chairman of the Housing Authority, Stanford Simon, said that Ms. Phillip was informed on many occasions that she had to vacate the area, and she agreed.
The technical officer went and informed her that she was building on housing land. Ms. Phillip asked for the weekend so she can get a few people to help her to remove the structure. We said to her, fine, we give her the couple of days and ask her to, remove the structure. And she agreed that she will. 1 week later, we did a follow-up visit and realized that Ms. Phillip was building the house. Matter of fact, was almost finished. Instead of she removed it, she was building it. On September 16th, 2009, the anti-squatting, which comprised of the members of the Royal Grenadier Police Force and the SSU, attached to the Ministry of Agriculture. We went there with some of our men from Housing Authority, and we carefully dismantled the house and left just part of it and tell her, finish it and take it away, and she promised that she will. And she asked for the time, and so we gave her to remove the rest of the house, and she agreed that she would do that. On September 21st, 2009, we, members of the technical staff of the Housing Authority, went back there, and now seeing what was happening there, we had no choice but again to ask Ms. Phillip to remove, and so doing that we found out that she was pretty much building back the house. That's actually building back the house. At that point, we then was quite, put it this way, we have gone the yard, we have done what we're supposed to do. A few days later, the general manager, accompanied by the technical officer again from Housing Authority, went and they asked her again to remove the house. To that end, she said that she will. Remember that she completely built the house. It was discovered that Ms. Phillip completed the house by December 2009. Realized that she completed the house, fully finished then, with all that we have done. Therefore, we notify our lawyers, Ms. Alindo, and ask him to write to her, and for which he did, giving us 7 days to remove the structure. And in so doing, we follow that up with a visit, indicating to her that we would come to remove the house if she failed to do so.
When GMN investigated the matter today, we were told that the Housing Authority, which owns the land, has been trying to settle a number of people who have made applications for the plots in the area. It was explained that Ms. Phillips' lot lies in the area designated as an access road, and hence the request by the authority that she was asked to move. Our news desk was also informed that one of Ms. Phillips' relatives provided her with a lot of land on which to construct a house, but that the offer was turned down. GBN contacted Housing Minister Glenn Noel today, who acknowledged that he was aware that the Housing Authority has asked Ms. Phillip to move on several occasions. However, he said after giving a humanitarian consideration to the situation, he visited the scene on Tuesday and agreed that the woman will be sold the existing plot of land. As such, he gave permission to have the house rebuilt. Chairman of the Housing Authority, Stanford Simon, did not comment on the report that neither he nor the authority was consulted before or after Senator Noel issued instructions which went contrary to those given by the National Housing Authority. Reporting for GBN News, Orisha Joseph.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah. So it's not a new thing with the NDC. It is not a new thing. That is how they always operate. And you see certain people trying to put themselves in a position to do that to more people because they didn't have a problem in a lower position. And you know, one of the things over the years being around people like Dr. Mitchell, he always says something, You get to know a person when you give them a little bit of power. You may see a man and he all well and good and he's a nice fella and all kind of thing, decent, telling people morning, evening, everything. But the moment you give that guy a little bit of power, the real person comes out. They start to pass people straight. They feel they could do people anything. The real person comes out when you give them a little bit of power. You see what really happens with an individual. And you all saw what happened when a certain individual had a little bit of power. You all saw what happened there. A mother with 6 children. That is it. Break it. Break it. Break it down. That was the instruction. But they're coming to you now. Because they know there's a generation of young people that don't know about these activities. And when they did these things, they know there are a generation of young people, first-time voters and second-time voters, that know nothing about what I just played there. Nothing. There are even some big people who vote how much them and don't know about what I played there. And some people that knew and forgot everything about that. But you know what is the greatest thing here? Deacon Mitchell. Because remember, this thing falls directly under Deacon Mitchell. Deacon Mitchell is he has to understand something. Both himself and his entire government, they are squatters. And the anti-squatting squad, that is us. and we will dismantle and remove them come the next election. They will be the ones who shall be wandering in the political wilderness, searching for a place to call home. But in order to do that, we all have our individual responsibilities that we must meet. We must ensure that we are registered to vote. We must ensure that not only are we registered to vote, we must ensure that all our friends and family are registered to vote and vote in the same way that we are going to vote. We want them register and say they go in and give their vote to the NDC, because anything other than NNP is NDC. As I said, the only movement is into the house of the new National Party. The only movement is to come into the NNP, to have a government that has emotional intelligence. You think, and those people in Mount Fan who are listening tonight, because I know you're listening in Mount Fan, those of you who are listening from Mount Fan tonight, you know that with Emlyn Pierre as your representative in a government, and especially as the Prime Minister of this country, nothing like that could ever take place. That if you have to move, you will move, but you will be moving to somewhere and not be thrown out with your children. You know that there is no way that could happen with an Emlyn Pierre-led administration. You know that for a fact. And anybody that is willing to be truthful to themselves, anybody that's willing to be truthful, and I have to say it like that because some people that live in a lie, but any of you that are willing to be truthful to yourself will understand that Emlyn Pierre would never do something like that to anybody, man as well as woman. That she will always do her best to ensure the best for the people, not just of her constituency, but Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Folks, the time is coming for us to deal with the squatters in the administration of this office, of this government right now. The squatters who are holding office and holding positions, lording it over the rest of us. We are the anti-squatting squad. We have the responsibility to deal with them and deal with them effectively. Man getting shoot in barbershop in town, but instead of utilizing police resources to be out there trying to find the fella that pulled the trigger and to delve into that case and find out what really take place there and to ensure that that individual doesn't get the opportunity to do something like that again. Instead of focusing on that, they're focusing on taking those police officers and send them to harass poor people for a place that they don't need right now and that they have no backup plan for the people who are living there right now. They don't care about nobody but themselves. That is why they could make sure that they buy the land attached to Polaris, because they only care about themselves. That is why they could give themselves all the significant raises that they had given themselves. That is why they could cost police officers, come and boast that they cost police officers, and on top of that, still go to public servants and make a statement, win, lose, or draw, I set for life. Understand who you're dealing with. And be very careful. Take your time, go over the voters list this week, because all kind of weird things happening. I'm hearing now that, for instance, in Carriacou, I'm going to talk about that more next week. I'm hearing that in Carriacou, the reason the electoral office cannot register people is because the electoral office has not paid their internet. And because they have not paid their internet, that is why it has been cut off now for going on 2 months. At least 2 months by my estimation. So it is not that there's a technical problem. It's that there is an economic and financial problem. And if that proves to be the case, Madam Governor General, fire everybody involved. Madam Governor General, if the government can find money to send people all over the world on all kind of jaunt, and who could travel on private plane, who knows who paying, but anyhow you take it, some paying not to take place when they go on these trips. So people could take private plane and be back 5 o'clock in the morning, all those kind of things. If all of that can be taking place, and they finding money to do them thing, they could find money to pay for the internet for the electoral office in Carriacou. Because it goes against the Constitution, and everybody involved should be immediately fired. if that is the situation. And even if that is not the situation, that you have electoral offices that are complaining of internet problems and no permanent solution or fixes being put in place to deal with that, it shows a certain level of incompetence. Everybody in charge of it needs to be immediately fired. My view. Folks, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you, and everything you say and do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and not about you. Remember, this weekend, there are quite a few activities going on, but remember, indeed, in Karakou, they've got the Karakou breakfast that's taking place out there at the main office, the Karakou office out there in Karakou, starting around 6:37 tomorrow morning. You can go there and get your breakfast, and then Manda and the entire crew out there in St. Andrews Southwest, they have their breakfast sale taking place tomorrow morning, bright and early, on the Grenville bus terminal. Give them your support. Leave a little change there for Shalan to get a little cocoa tea and a little bakes when I reach up. Alright? Yeah, leave a little something there. Say, watch, we leaving that in the cup there. That is for Shalan. We paying for Shalan for when he come up there one time. Alright, folks, so that's all the time we have for tonight. Do enjoy the rest of your night.
NNP, don't waste no time. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. Till boy in the garbage, full of ton in the garbage. Alin in the garbage, Nazim in the garbage. Gilbert in the garbage, Asbat in the garbage. Lambert in the garbage, John Parcel in the garbage. They feel like we stupid. We dumb and we cannot see. It's meant from the RNC that want to come back and rule we. We telling them loud and plain. We ain't jumping foot again. We don't want no hijackers to hijack Grenada again. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. Dennis in the garbage. Glennis in the garbage. George Prime in the garbage. Ingrid in the garbage. Walker in the garbage. Peter in the garbage. Michael Chuck in the garbage. Tilboy in the garbage. Look through the whole country. Improvement for all our we. Even a blind man could see that NNP working for we. We don't want no hooligans to suffer with future plans. So let we take NDC and throw them in perseverance. We throw in NDC in the garbage can. 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 Asbot Chap in the garbage. Tilboy in the garbage. Full of tongue in the garbage. Alin in the garbage. Nazim in the garbage. Lambert in the garbage. John Parcel in the garbage. Gilbert in the garbage. They said the PM whining. That is why they don't like him. Tilboy a muscle and wine cause Nazim stand up right behind. Don't talk for the rest of them. They behaving like children. Them fellas could never win with this whole joint of corrupting. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. Some asking where I come from, how I reach on this platform. So I tell them first and foremost I am a born Grenadian. Although I live in Brooklyn, that don't really mean nothing. I come out to put a hand and help in my nation building. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. We throw in and they say in the garbage can. Hey! Wait now, who talking about? Till boy? No way about that. Space man was the rhythm. You can't run away. Hold him! Space! What one, man? Give it him, man. Who talking about John Buster?